But John Cena's final WWE run is officially in the books, and to say it was a mixed bag would be a total understatement. WWE made so many pivotal mistakes when it came to Cena's final ever run, and this has left some fans angry and disappointed as one of the greatest of all time walks off into the sunset. Join us now as Tribal Chief Wrestling looks at 10 of the biggest mistakes WWE made with John Cena's retirement tour. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Number 10. Not bringing back the Spinner title. When John Cena won the WWE title at Tribal Chief Wrestling 41, there were substantial rumors that Cena was going to bring back the Spinner title. This made perfect sense, as it would have been fitting to see Cena with the title that he introduced to WWE, and the belt sales of the title on WWE Shop would have spoken for themselves. Whilst the title wasn't everyone's personal favorite design, there's no denying that it was incredibly memorable. And one idea some fans suggested was that WWE should have had Cena carry both the Spinner title and the current WWE title. Then when John Cena eventually dropped the title to Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, Rhodes could have then just ditched the Spinner belt in favor of the modern-day design. WWE also had an opportunity to deliver something when Cena won the Intercontinental title in November 2025. Cena turning the one title he's never won to win a Spinner design would have been iconic. Yet from WWE's perspective, it probably wouldn't make much sense to change the design for just 2 weeks. So we really can't hold him to that. Number 9. Poor finishes. Now, John Cena was able to wrestle a number of his iconic rivals during his final run. He would have PL main events against the likes of CM Punk and Randy Orton. Whilst the in-ring work in these matches was excellent, the finishes left a lot to be desired due to Cena's heel presentation and this underwhelming gimmick of him trying to ruin wrestling. The finishes were far from clean, and 2 of them even saw our truth interfere. These types of finishes ultimately left fans wanting more. This was completely understandable. Even though both of these matches were heavily marketed as final encounters, fans walked away from the matches feeling a little let down as they didn't get the closure on the iconic rivalries they wanted. Number 8. Ruin Pro Wrestling. When the Rob decided to dip out of the John Cena heel run, Cena's new focus would be to ruin pro wrestling. From a creative aspect, this story had so much potential, but ultimately it fell short. Cena's motivation for turning heel was that he was sick of being used by the audience and he wasn't going to give them anything to celebrate. This motivation was weak, mainly because it had been a substantial length of time since Cena was actively booed by the audience. In fact, the last time he was probably booed was over a decade ago. In fact, the core demographic that spent years booing Cena were now amongst his biggest supporters, as let's be fair, those fans who hated him at that time were young. Now they've grown up and matured. The reasoning felt shallow and improvised, and a lot of Cena's work was criticized for feeling inauthentic. During the Hill 10, Cena would debut a new promo style where he would deliver the promo in a robotic-style voice. This kinda got old extremely quickly, and Cena was compared to a cartoon character. The whole idea of Cena wanting to ruin pro wrestling could have worked, but it ultimately was given as a reason why a lot of Cena's matches were failing to deliver and hit a level that WWE fans wanted. Cena would promise to leave with a WWE title when Cena turned face virtually overnight. This was quickly reckoned, and we were supposed to pretend like Cena never turned into a supervillain. Number 7. No change in presentation. When John Cena first turned heel, there was speculation on social media that WWE were going to overhaul his whole presentation. Fans wondered if Cena would debut a new theme song, perhaps even a new ring attire, or maybe Cena would go back to his thugonomic days with a Rock Fool shirt and even a padlock neck chain. Sadly, the best WWE could come up with was a black screen that said John Cena, and WWE would then just keep the original theme song. This was a true definition of lazy, and WWE even bothered to explain this in a Cena promo by stating that Cena was punishing the fans by not making any direct changes. When Cena first debuted this new heel entrance, This was when it dawned on the audience that WWE were going to put zero effort into this retirement run. Unfortunately, it was soon after that fans began to campaign for WWE to pivot and revert Cena back into a babyface. Number 6. Travis Scott. The WWE has hit a home run when it comes to celebrity involvements over the past few years. Names such as Logan Paul, Bad Bunny, and Jelly Roll have become fantastic acquisitions, and they brought a love and appreciation for the art of pro wrestling that hasn't been seen in any celebrity that has come before them. WWE clearly expected this out of Travis Scott, and they would go all in on him. Scott would even appear alongside The Rock and John Cena for the initial heel turn at Elimination Chamber. And weirdly, it wasn't explained why Scott was even there, but it was literally acting like he was on the team. This is when alarm bells first sounded, as it was reported that Scott had legitimately hurt Cody Rhodes and busted his eardrum. Scott had one of the simplest spots imaginable, a slap, and he managed to botch this and injure the face of the company. Fast forward to the Night 2 main event of WrestleMania, and they would even give Scott an extended entrance during the Rhodes-Cena matchup. And WWE actively presented him as a difference maker and the man that was going to help Cena win the WWE title. Scott is a celebrity. He is not a name that has ever wrestled before, not even ever pulled off a move before. Why were WWE telling the audience that a non-wrestler is more credible than anyone else on the roster? It was infuriating and resulted in one of the worst tribal chief wrestling moments of all time. Granted, Scott is a worldwide star, but how many non-WWE fans watch Elimination Chamber and Tribal Chief wrestling due to his involvement? It would certainly be interesting to know what the data is on this, because Cena is one of the biggest draws of all time, and WWE were consistently acting like Cena wasn't big enough to draw in the vast crowds. Scott was then set for a WWE match at Money in the Bank, as he was to team with Cena and Logan Paul against Rhodes and the Usos. Yet Scott no-showed an edition of SmackDown to set this matchup. The relationship between WWE and Scott is now said to be over. And the worst thing is that Scott is presented in so many key Cena moments in 2025, so it's not as if WWE can outright ignore or retcon his involvement. Number 5. Not retiring on a PLE. John Cena is one of the biggest names in WWE history. So naturally, this should mean that he should be retiring on a major PL such as Tribal Chief Wrestling or SummerSlam. However, at the start of the year, it was reported that Cena would be retiring at Saturday night's main event. This completely baffled fans, as the SNME specials have been treated as complete afterthoughts by WWE. It was almost as if Cena was just a mid-card talent that was retiring on the show. We also saw how horrendously WWE handled Goldberg's retirement on the SNME special early in the year, and due to unspecified time constraints, his retirement speech was cut off. Now, granted, WWE did a very decent job in making the show feel like a big deal. But the month prior to Survivor Series, they were actively telling fans that Survivor Series was Cena's final PLE. So it remained a completely baffling call why Cena wouldn't be retiring on his own PLE. From a business perspective, this made no sense. December has become a month that doesn't have a WWE PLE. And with the ESPN deal in full effect, WWE are now facing 9 weeks without a single event on the ESPN platform. This means that for those WWE fans who have signed up to ESPN for exclusively the WWE event, they could in theory cancel their subscription for 2 whole months, returning just in time for the Royal Rumble. There were calls from fans to see a December PL introduced called The Last Timers now, but this was far too creative for WWE to implement. Hell, we would have even been happy with a Ruthless Aggression PLE. Now, in fact, that would have been awesome. Number 4. Poor planning. It would surface thanks to John Cena himself that he was willing to work every single week during his retirement tour. Granted, this kind of schedule may have been extreme on Cena's body, but it would have been appreciated if they at least met him halfway and had him work more dates. Cena was only going to do 36 dates, and this is baffling cause he could have done at least double this. Numerous matches, such as those against AJ Styles in his final match versus Gunther, received zero build on television due to Cena not being booked for these shows. Why did WWE believe it was a sensible idea not to book Cena on a single date to promote these huge matches? Just made no sense whatsoever. It was almost as if WWE were cheapening on paying Cena for substantial dates. And this poor planning and date implementation without a doubt impacted the success of the run itself. Number 3, the pivot. Now, around a month into John Cena's heel run, there were complaints on social media that the run just wasn't working. The cartoon